Kitchener Waterloo might seem like, a smaller, more straightforward market, but here is the reality. Where you buy here can completely change your lifestyle. A home that looks like a great deal can still leave you with a long commute and limited convenience, while that cheaper, older bungalow might need tens of thousands in renovations just to make it livable. And then you have areas that are just outside the city core. Talk about New Hamburg, Stratford. They do look affordable on paper, but don't work for most buyers day to day. So in this video, my goal is simple. I'm breaking down 5 types of areas in Kitchener Waterloo where buyers often get it wrong, and most importantly, what you should know before you make that move. Stay tuned and let's get right into it. Now, before we get into the specific areas, one thing you need to understand about, the overall map of Kitchener Waterloo. What looks close on a map does not always translate to the same day-to-day experience. When you consider things like commute times, access to amenities, overall lifestyle can change pretty quickly depending on where you are. And that's where I see most buyers get caught off guard. So let's start with the first type of area where this tends to happen the most. The first one is what I would call the outer small town pockets. You know where I'm going. We are talking about areas like Stratford, New Hamburg, Tavistock, even parts of Ayr. Now on paper, this can look like a great deal. You're getting newer homes, more space, and that too often at a lower price when you compare with KW. And for a lot of buyers, especially, let's say if you're coming from Greater Toronto area or out of the region, that feels like an easy trade-off. But here is where the disconnect usually happens. The day-to-day living in these areas is very different. You're often looking at 25 to 40 minutes just to get into the Kitchener Waterloo. And say if you're commuting towards the Greater Toronto area, I can tell you that can easily turn into an hour to hour and a half, depending on how much traffic you find on 401 and which part of the city you are headed. Access to 401 is not always as direct, depending on where you are. And most of your day-to-day groceries, gyms, restaurants is not always that quick drive living in this town. So that's the major trade-off. While it might look like you're getting more for your money, which you do, you're often trading convenience, accessibility, and the flexibility. Now, to be clear, these areas can work well if you're working remotely. Let's say you got flexible hours, or if you generally prefer a much slower pace of life. But for most buyers that I work with, especially those balancing commute, family, and the day-to-day convenience, this is where the expectations and the reality, they don't always line up. And look, I know trying to figure this out, especially let's say if you're moving from the Greater Toronto area or even within the region, can get pretty confusing very quickly. Every area that looks good on paper, but it really comes down to how it fits your commute, your lifestyle, and your day-to-day. So I have conversations like this every single week with families who are trying to figure out what actually makes sense for them. So if you ever want to talk through your individual situation, feel free to reach out. All my contact info is right below in the description. You can call me, text me, email me, or book a Zoom call. Next is what I would call the far ends of Cambridge. Now, this one is interesting because on paper, it checks a lot of boxes. You're still within what we call Waterloo region. Home prices can be affordable when you compare with Kitchener Waterloo core, and you will often find decent options for the budget. But where buyers tend to get caught off guard is how it actually feels when you start living your day-to-day life. Depending on where you are, getting into KW, whether that's uptown Waterloo or the universities or even the areas like the boardwalk, can take much longer than expected, especially if you're relying on routes like Highway 8, heading towards 401, and so on. And for a lot of buyers, especially those who are working in tech, healthcare, or let's say commuting within the region, that convenience start to matter pretty quickly once you start living. So while Cambridge as a whole can make a lot of sense in the right situation, certain pockets of Cambridge can feel a bit more disconnected from the what we call the core Kitchener Waterloo than most people initially expect. And again, not necessarily a bad thing. It really just depends on what your day-to-day looks like and what is a priority for you. The third one I have on my list is the older, more established neighborhoods we have in Kitchener. Areas like Stanley Park, Forest Heights, even parts of Laurentian. Now, these areas can look like a great value at first. I mean, you're closer to everything, right? Quick access to Highway 78. You're not too far from places like Fairview Park Mall, Sunrise Shopping Center, even the Highway 401, depending on where you are. And you also get larger lots, mature trees, and often lower purchase prices compared to some of the newer neighborhoods. So for a lot of buyers, it feels like you have just found a bit of a hidden opportunity. Here's one thing that catch people off guard. A lot of these homes were built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, which means while they do have good bones, they often need updates depending on your expectation and what you call move-in ready. And those costs can add up pretty quickly. You talk about kitchen renovation alone can run somewhere between 30 to 50K. Bathroom, say another 10 to 15K, and often factor in flooring, windows, HVAC, all those things. You're looking at like 60 to 100,000 more. So, that good deal on the purchase price can start to look very different once you factor in all the things that you need to do to make it work. Now, if you are someone who is okay with renovations or let's say looking to add value over time, these areas can be a great option, especially given the location and the access. But if you're expecting something turnkey or move-in ready with minimal work, this is where expectations and reality can be very off. The fourth one I have is newer builder-driven areas, places like Huron South, Doon South, or some of the newer pockets on the west side of Kitchener, say like Trustler. Now, these are some of the most popular areas for first-time home buyers and young families for a good reason. Everything is newer, layouts are modern, and you're getting a move-in ready home, and a lot of these communities are designed with families in mind. So on the surface, it feels like a safe bet and a fairly straightforward choice. But here is what a lot of buyers don't fully realize until they are in. You're basically paying a premium for the newness. Detached homes in these areas, they often push into high 8s into the 9s, even above the $1 million. Even the townhomes can be in the 700s and higher, depending on the builder, the size, and the upgrades. On the top of that, you have development charges, construction costs that is constantly rising, and the builder margins, all of which play a role in how these homes are priced in today's market. So you are not necessarily getting the same value you would have received a few years ago. And then there is a resale side of things. In a lot of these areas, builders are still actively releasing new phases, right? There are builders who are building over 2,000 homes in a subdivision, which means when you go to sell, you're often competing directly with the brand new inventory. You might also be dealing with smaller lot sizes, ongoing construction, and amenities still catching up in the area, depending on the stage of the community. Now again, these areas can be a great fit if you want something move-in ready, turnkey, low maintenance, and newer. But it's very important for you to understand that you are paying for that convenience, and that comes with its own set of trade-offs. And the last one I want to talk about is condominiums and stacked townhomes, especially in areas like downtown Kitchener, parts of Waterloo, near the universities, and other investor-heavy pockets. Now, this can look very appealing to begin with. The purchase price is, of course, lower, and the buildings are newer in many cases. And for the lot of first-time home buyers, it feels like a convenient, accessible way to get into the housing market. But here's where things can be a little bit misleading. The purchase price is only the part of the story. Once you factor in things like condo fees, which can range anywhere from $300 to I've seen as high as $700 per month, your total monthly costs start to look very, very different. And on top of that, in some of these buildings, you are dealing with a higher concentration of tenants, which can impact things like noise, maintenance, and the overall feel of the building. Also, you have to keep in mind, appreciation also behaves differently compared to freehold homes, depending on, of course, the location and the overall demand. So while this can absolutely make sense for a certain pool of buyers, especially if you want something low maintenance or you're okay with more urban lifestyle, what's important to note is you go into understanding the full picture, not just the entry-level purchase price. Because again, what looks affordable upfront can feel very different once you factor in the total carrying cost for the whole month. At the end of the day, none of these areas I would say are bad. They just work very differently depending on your lifestyle, commute, and what you're actually looking for. And that's where most buyers get caught off guard. It's not just the home itself, it's how the location fits in your day-to-day lifestyle. And if you're planning a move to Kitchener Waterloo and need help figuring out what actually makes sense for you, both for your budget and for your lifestyle, feel free to reach out. You can call me, text me, email me, or even book a quick Zoom call. All the info is right below in the description. Like I said, I help families like yours make this kind of move every single week, and I'll be happy to help you navigate that as well. And if you found this video somewhat helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and tap on that bell so you are the first one to get notified when a new video pops out. Until next time, I will continue to show you guys around the town.